Welcome to the Roth Show. As you can see, we're improving. We're making desperate attempts to improving. And Tom, I want to thank you here. We've got, I was going to say the hearing aids, but that's insensitive these days. This is auditory assist. Remember when we used to practice? Now we rehearse and we can charge more. We used to stretch. Now we do plyometrics and yoga. Watch the price point on that one. Spandex is still spandex, and I'm still wearing tactical spandex. That actually sounds like an album title now. Who would have tactical spandex? It's a dance thing, right? Booch, 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 booch. Okay, we're working on the lighting. The world's a stage. I would like better lighting. We're working on the sound. As you can see, the microphones are changing and the headgear is changing. This is a good new look for us. And we're doing it kind of art-centric. We're here in the Mojo Dojo and we're doing it in the art space itself. So we're sort of finding our way. It's sort of like Stevie Wonder on roller skates sometimes, but then sometimes it's like the guy who invented the Pacific Ocean. Who was that? Balboa. He also invented the island. You know how they got the name for the Pacific Ocean.
I don't recall, no.
But you're a saltwater guy, right? You're out around the beach all the time,
I
right?
do, yeah.
You don't know how?
I don't.
Okay, Balboa, true story, took 2 years to get to the West Coast, and he, in Spanish, named it Great Body of Blue Water, El Grande, or whatever it is. And it was a small, I think a mestizo Indian fellow who said, no, be more specific. And he said, even better, Pacific Ocean. You pay attention. That devil may care or whoever cares kind of attitude is sort of pervasive in the way they're marketing, the way we're looking at pot, the way the glass containers that it comes in. I'm not sure if folks are really considerate of this is a medicament or this is purely for recreation. Which guy is really serious? The one who dumps it on the table, the one who scrapes it off the floor, or the guy goes, hey, I got to be honest. It's a poetic way of being honest. I need the cash. He already owns the church. Okay? We're at a state now, I think, when you look at pharmacology when it comes to pot, where perhaps pharmacology was in the late 1800s, Victorian days, post-Civil War, turn of the century, all right? Apothecary. When you say those words, apothecary, you think of the labels with very ornate hand-done lettering, right? You think of corked bottles, and the Coca-Cola made you go fast because it had some of the same stuff that the Bovril had, whatever that was, that you gave the kids in breakfast, and that got them through homeroom lickety-split, and they didn't mind homework for 2 days at a time. And your wife lost weight inexplicably because she didn't change anything she was eating, but she did stop sleeping, and she talked just like this incessantly. Okay, and then another bottle made you, well, we didn't really have jazz back then, but we knew it might be coming, and so we practiced being DJs. We didn't have mics either, but we could do this after a couple of opium pills. And they made millions of opium pills during Civil War. That's part you don't hear about. Millions and millions on both sides. Opium pills, and not because of aches and pains at the end of a dramatic surgery. That was like all day, every day, starting with breakfast before coffee. And a lot of time, you didn't have coffee, but you had a little sachet, they called it, just a little powder. Millions and millions of these were just handed out, and that's kind of began a little bit of the culture of, I can solve this pretty readily here. Or the Beverly Hills way, we call it plastic makes perfect. How do I look? Right? The combination of that is, okay, I can solve this. Boom, boom, and away go troubles down the drain. Today, we think of pot the same way, I think, because you're looking at labeling, you're looking at bottling, you're looking at different ways of vending it. Sometimes it's recreational, and that gets mixed up with the medical, which gets mixed up with the spiritual. There were libations like ether or whatever, derivatives that gave you vapors. People went to opium dens, or that opium was laced into all kinds of beverages that today are considered just basically soda pops, okay? When we get a confusion in terms of pot, I don't think it's fair to what's going on one hand recreationally, and on the other, we get a supposition that's just not right. At what point did this all become about self-improvement and perspective and enhancing my vision? You've heard me say, the trouble with being a saint, the only thing worse than being a saint is having to live with one. The trouble with self-improvement is knowing when it's time to quit. Saw a great conversation. Rogan, Joe and Ted Nugent. I think we were watching it together, Tom. And Ted, who is reaching for ultimate somehow connection to the great outdoors or becoming part of, I understand that, it's the everywhere spirit. American Indian First Nation understands this. And his ascendancy is based on purity. He's not getting high. He's not getting loaded. He's one with, in a very primitive kind of a state. He's actually hunting his own food. Primitive state. Joe Rogan is a man of the world. He's international, and he's very, very modern, and he's using old school techniques to expand. Everything in his world is expanding. Look at the way mixed martial arts, just visually, mixed martial arts has expanded in the last 15 summers. It's a completely different experience. Watching it, it's a completely different experience. Enacting it and performing it. The same thing in the way television, YouTube, podcasting has expanded. So his version, as I kind of translated, is he's using pot to expand his perspectives. It helps him to perceive or to concentrate or perhaps to meditate upon something like that. And I'm sitting out here at the television. Do you talk to the television when you watch television?
Occasionally, yes.
And do you say nice things?
Not always, no.
Me neither.
Yeah.
And I'm going, cut. I just want to work on L3, L4, and L5. And anybody who's played football long enough or fallen off a bicycle enough times or any other physical sport of any kind and gotten anywhere near my driver's license chronology will tell you, he's talking about his back. It's lower back pain, okay? Has nothing to do with recreation. It's got nothing to do, or let's just stop there. Recreation. For me, that means what I will call a California speedball, okay? That's a quadruple espresso and half a joint of medical. We'll go both ways at once. And actually you feel that in your head. And that sounds like a bass drum from something on Hip Hop Channel, Sirius XM, which is what's going to get us out to Hollywood. Sounds like an 808 to me, okay? And then we're going to have loud, either Hispanic or African-American music, okay, that sounds a lot like that, ranging from 100 to, I'm specific, motherfucker, from 100 to 126 BPM. And if you don't know what that means, then FUK off. I don't care if it's the sounds of Shaka Khan or Pitbull. All right, let's go. And then we're going to involve ourselves something ethnic, okay? Burrito vodka. Get Tito on the phone. I want to have something that is multicolored. No. I mean the waitress, the haircut. And it's okay. That's recreation. Not sitting back smoking pot and watching The Godfather again. So for me, pot really, that's just getting rid of the pain, the dailies. Every sports person now, little by little, depending on where you are in your contract option, is coming out and talking about it. Because your only other option is the pain pill. And the pain pill, believe me, I've taken my body weight in that shit. It has debilitating effects, and it's not a lifetime thing, and it's got to be more and more and more. My difficulty going into the pot shop today is it's like walking into a candy store. I'm not interested in candy. I'm not interested in floral fragrances. I'm not interested in cherry cough drop pastel bagel taste. I asked one of the folks behind the counter, what's the wildest taste flavor of something you're selling here? She said, meat breath. Meat breath. She said, it really makes your breath smell like meat. Well, it's a little tough to stand on national TV, which I'm doing now, and explain that, well, there are different divisions and uses for this kind of a thing, all right? Perhaps a bit like alcohol was. Alcohol can be used for a whole lot of different things. Sometimes it's celebration, and sometimes it's combined and it's used for just natural pain relief, although I wouldn't recommend a six-pack to get rid of your back pain, okay? You might drink a six-pack to help you remember how you got that back pain. Man, that was a fucking hot summer. Oh, fuck. You might drink that 6-pack to forget. I never want to have a summer like that again. God damn it. Sure was fun, though. But you're not going to knock any pain out of yourself with alcohol, all right? And you're going to develop a whole lot of other bad habits that are congruent. Alcohol is the gateway drug to Marlboro cigarettes, country western music. The Roth Show.